Welcome into the Bobby Carpenter Show, and we are coming out of Week 7. Schlegs, you know what the best part about being 7-0?
Chance to go 8-0.
That's right. Chance
That's right,
to go 8-0. Buckeyes down the Badgers. Big weekend of college football. I mean, holy
Oh
smokes.
my gosh.
If you can't get excited about college football on a weekend like this and all the games that are going on, and just consuming it from noon until night. Holy War late at night, got USC, Notre Dame. I mean, and by the way, I tell everybody, even when the lines smell funky and look ridiculous, the book Vegas is almost always right, Schlegs. I mean, they're locked in. That Notre Dame line at 9.5. I'm like, gosh, that seems like it's a little big, you know? Notre Dame's defense having been great. USC's looking really good. What was the score, Schlegs? 24-34. Yep. Locked in. They always know. They always know, Schlegs. And speaking of that, the Buckeyes always know. And Ryan Day always knows. Brian Hartline always knows. Matt Patricia always knows. Like they know about this team. They know about this squad. I think everybody nationally now knows. But the Buckeyes down the Badgers 34-0. And what seemed Frabes would always say this, and and it's funny. He'd say it, and then it's like, yeah, well, you have to be one of the great ones. But he'd say the great ones make it look easy.
Yeah, I do.
And it looks kind of easy for Ohio State. Like watching these games, I'm like, I don't really feel like there's ever anything at risk. Now, listen, Wisconsin, they're not nearly as good as Illinois. But watching the game with Wisconsin versus Illinois, Schlegs, did it feel really any different? Like, no. I mean, Illinois maybe moved it a little better and did some things offensively, like their quarterback could complete a forward pass. But when I'm watching that game, I'm like, all right, man, gosh, Fick, it'd be nice if you had a quarterback that could actually throw the ball to one of his guys. And when he does throw it to his guy, that he could catch it and not just tip it in the air for tip drill for Sayin just to grab it and run down.
Well, hit the guy on the shoulder pad. Like the ball wasn't bad, and Jalen was there. It could have been a pass breakup or a tackle, but I mean, it hit off the guy's shoulder pad. I mean, he missed it by about a couple inches, maybe, as far as his target, but good for Sonny being there, man. I mean, tips and opportunities.
Ball, Schlegs. It's a ball that should have been caught.
For sure.
And for like a 7 or 8 yard gain, instead, it's whatever, 25 going 35 the other way. Sonny Styles running unmolested down the sideline, and you're like, it just unbelievable. So
well, if you look at your schedule, like I think now it was funny. I don't know. It was probably Ben Scott Stevens. He has three first names. He also had some great ones that I put in the chat, Bob. But if you really look at Ohio State's schedule, like the Texas game, first game of the year, 14-7, but you felt good about it really for the entirety of the game. Then Grambling,
it was 14-0 with like 5 minutes to go in the game, and they hadn't moved the ball.
3:41. Yeah, they hadn't moved it. There were. What were they, 1 for 5 on fourth down? But you look through the season, even the Washington game, the Minnesota game, the Illinois game, like they all, Wisconsin, you felt in control. And I think he put the stat out that they covered or pushed, right, 10 out of the last 11. So it's like 10-0-1.
Yeah.
Is what they've done. But they have made it look easy. They've been executing at a high level. And even with the execution or things that you want to continue to get better, you know that they're working on them. So you're like, okay. And then you have different emergence, and we'll get more into that. But
emergence, I like that.
You know, like Isaiah West had some really good runs in there this week. But the thing is like they are doing whatever it is they want to do. They are dictating the game plan. Like Ryan said, we put more on Julian Sayin's plate today. And like this game was about the vertical passing game, when you knew that they were going to be playing deeper, and how are you going to exploit that? And he had some phenomenal rollout passes. I mean, his accuracy was off the charts. Guys making the catches as well. Like it takes them all, the protection. So all of those things culminating together without even talking about the defense or special teams, right?
Yeah, well,
you like what you see. Yeah, I know. But you like what you see because they're being able to say, hey, what do we want to do in this game? Let's go do this. It seems like every single week is a stepping stone of like putting things in that they want to see that eventually will culminate into the entirety of what the Ohio State football team is in 2025.
Well, Yeah. What's interesting, I don't know if your term work on, I would say, what do you want to emphasize this game? I
That's
think
a better.
that's almost what Ryan looks at. Because like you're saying, like you're working on stuff during games. I mean, it sounds kind of disrespectful, but that's kind of part of it. Like this game never really felt like it was in doubt. They got a lot of the young guys in. We'll get into Isaiah West because I think there's a lot there. This running back room of how all that's going to shake out, and then how it's currently like being shook and shake it off, Taylor Swift style. They're trying to figure that out. And that's what happens when you lose two guys who are great players. But do you realize, like, so this team, Ohio State, they punt, they kick off to Wisconsin, 3 plays and a punt. You're like, okay, I get that. And what has been the issue that fans, I guess, have complained about for Ohio State here, Schlegs, really throughout I'd say the last like 3 or 4 games?
Oh, that probably red zone offense, and
Well,
running the football.
Running the football. And someone was like, one of my friends, had a little bit too much to drink, Schlegs, and I forget what game we were maybe watching.
I like these. Those are good. Those are good combos.
It really is. It wasn't Illinois. It wasn't maybe Ohio University. I could go back through and look at this.
Minnesota.
Minnesota. Was that a home game though?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was an away game because I went over to watch it at his house.
No, it was Washington.
Washington. Yes, it was Washington. I went over to my friend's house to watch it. He played baseball at Ohio State. He was, man, glad they're playing Brian Hartline all this money to run it up the middle. I'm like, I'm like, hey, buddy. He's like, look at all these great play designs. And I like made some jokes. And then it was right before half. And then all of a sudden they run the screen to JJ and it's a touchdown. I was like, well, that looked pretty good. He's like, yeah, but whatever. Like, I'm like, it's easy. We're getting mad about winning. Like, that's the thing. Don't ever apologize for the winning. And so people were lamenting the fact that they've been trying to get this run game going. I think this shows that the word, like, we're going to emphasize it. And we're going to get into the right guard spot a little bit because they've started to roll Padilla and Tegra there a little bit and trying to figure out to get those guys going of who might be the best player there and maybe light a little bit of the fire like Billy Joel. My gosh, just watching Brandon Ennis's touchdown was amazing again. But for a guy who, like, everybody was like, well, when's Ennis going to show up? Well, there you go. But the opening drive of the game, I tweeted this out because I thought it was unbelievable. Everybody was like, they just run the ball. They're just running the ball. I'm like, well, they're running
the ball. They had the slowest tempo in all of college football, Bob. And
they still score 34 points in a game. Like, that's what's remarkable. They're still average. They're still like one of the better scoring offenses in the country when they're going at such a slow rate. And we've talked about this. Why do you go at a slow rate? Like, well, you can control the ball. You can keep your defense, which is really good, really good. Let's keep them fresh. And then also, why do we need to play more plays? We're planning on playing 16 games. Why do we need to play? If we play an extra 10 plays, Schlegs, every game, that's 160 extra plays. It's 160 extra snaps. Like, so why expose yourself to that? So you play fast on offense. It's more for your guys, more yards, more stuff. Yeah, that's good, but not great ideally for the health of your players. So you start off this first drive, and after a 3-and-out by Wisconsin, they punt, and they're starting at the OSU 11.
Yep.
Now, how do you start on the 11 and have they have more yards on that drive than they actually did? I think yards to gain because they had a 5-yard penalty and a loss of 1 on one play. So they actually had like a 94-yard drive or 95-yard drive from the 11. So the math doesn't always math on that. But
math doesn't always math. I like that.
Like when you're trying to figure it out, like, where are these extra yards? Like, the penalty took them back, so you have to get those yards back. But 6-yard pass, 15-yard pass, 5-yard pass, 10-yard pass, 5. And at that point, I start thinking to myself, are Ryan and Bry, are they like trolling the rest? R&B, buddy. There we go. R&B. Are they trolling like folks right now? Like, because everybody complained all they do is run it. They're just dropping back. And they got Julian back there who looks like a neurosurgeon just cutting people up, just like routes on air, ball is always where it's supposed to be. And they just pass. Now, They did have the Bo Jackson run in there where they lost a yard, 5-yard penalty, then back to a 5-yard pass, and then all of a sudden, Carnell Tate, Julian Sain's like, oh, here we go. I'm going to sit in the pocket, get flush, dip under, backpedal, reset, zip one in against Tampa 2. Safety aborts to go over top to see JJ, tries to come back late. Middle runner's a linebacker. He's trying to get over there, and he puts one up just right in the sweet spot to Carnell Tate, where he's the only one that can go get it. Guy's trying to punch it out on the way down, punches his helmet off. Somehow that's not a penalty anymore. Like, if Ohio State did that, for sure it would be. But he catches the ball, goes off the field, and you're thinking, man, Carnell Tate's a pretty damn good player. The pass by Julian was amazing. There was just so much greatness, but they threw the ball every play but one on that drive.
Yep.
Are you not entertained?
Right. I mean, and also it was the designs of the plays within that drive, Bob. There were tempo to the flats. There was a late release by a tight end. Like they were all utilizing the short passing game as runs, right? And then you still ran one to then open up, keep them all from getting just depth and aborting the run responsibility. So you were doing it that way into the flats and then hit some bigger balls throughout the drive, and especially the last one, which was a great throw and a great catch and execution on that. And you're up 7-0. And then it culminates, right? So it's like, boom, efficient defense does what they do. Their punter, Wisconsin's MVP of their game, right? So you flip the field on a three. I know. But anyways, but then what happens next? Like opportunistic defense, interception, Sonny Styles. And then what do, Bob? You get screen pass to Bo, a little short to JJ, pass short to JJ in the end zone, which again, there was 2 balls of the entire day. They happen to be to JJ, where if they were a little bit higher, he comes down with them. But that was one, and then you get a field goal. And then you get another 3 and out, Bob.
Oh, they're just dealing up 3 and outs, and it was tough. Do you get a feeling, essentially, when you're watching, like open the game with a 6-yard completion on an out to J.J. Smith when you're backed up? They're throwing outs to Carnell Tate. Like Julian is like so crazy accurate right now. It almost seems like they could just stand up and throw those 7 to 12-yard outs all day long.
Well,
all the way down the field, and no one would be able to do anything to stop them.
Here's the thing. It's they're hitting those because he's identifying cover 3, and that's 3 into the field. So that's the hardest throw. The thing is is your quarterback can make the hardest throw in football, which is the out across the field. Because it's open. It's like, hey, go ahead and make that throw. We're going to give that up on first down if you can make it. The thing is, the dude can make all of the throws.
Yeah. I mean, no one – but the thing is, not only can he make them, but he makes them with such just regularity. Like there's no inconsistency in his game. And what's unbelievable – Pat throws up in there. It's like Jamar Chase on Thursday Night Football, which is very true. But you watch him. Julian Sayin has an unbelievable ability to make the great plays like that pass to Carnell look routine. Like he almost seems underwhelming as a player because he never seems to stress out there. Like there's never a time where he seems like he's straining, which for a quarterback is probably one of the greatest compliments you could ever give.
Yep. I'm just looking at this, and the fact that you've seen a multitude of different winning styles throughout the season, Bob, and then this game, this was kind of like and it's not like I say open it up, right? Like all these things have been there, but it's go do your thing. It's kind of like let them off the leash and dial it up, and the dude just makes the plays. And that's what you want to see. Like it goes back to what Ryan said. He's making really good decisions, and he's seeing exactly what we're seeing, and he's executing at a high clip. And there is a great stat in there. I'm not going to bring it up. But I mean, the fact is the guy has done something that hasn't been done in the last 30 years of the Ohio State quarterback. And honestly, that's a testament to the
You know what?
development.
Let's get into that next.
Okay,
We'll
do it.
keep that little
I got it.
nugget there.
Okay.
Keep that little nugget, and you can dangle that out there for the folks
Mm.
about what hasn't been done in the last 30 years, which, by the way, there's 3 national championships in there. You've got the number 2 overall pick, a Heisman Trophy winner. So there's a number of like good players to choose from during that time. So check that out. FanDuel, they've got an offer. You don't want to miss this NFL season. New customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet $5. If it wins, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use all across the app. Bet the player props, ride the live lines, build the parlays, whatever you want, whatever your style. FanDuel, they've got you covered. The NFL season, it is here and it is rocking. The only question is, are you ready to play? Visit FanDuel.com/juice/big-play to download the FanDuel app today and get started. Must be 21 older and present in Ohio or 21 older and present in Pennsylvania. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Julian Sayin, he's doing some legendary stuff. Find out what it is next.
Creative, experience, results. That's what drives growth. That's what builds brands. That's Lake Spur Marketing, a full-service agency built on trust, strategy, and performance, not fluff. From bold strategies to flawless execution, every campaign is rooted in smart planning and driven by clear goals. We don't chase clicks. We build partnerships. We show up, dig in, and deliver every single time. Lake Spur Marketing. The proof is in our partners.
All right, Schlegs. We're back on the Carpenter Show. You're teasing 30 years. It's like the lady off Titanic coming up there when she's got the little diamond and throws it on in before she can die. It makes that noise. I mean, maybe that's the noise Julian makes after he throws a touchdown pass.
I wonder what's going on in his mind. Like there was that great meme of the Maroon 5, kind of vibe, but he's just sitting over there with like the long hair. It looks like he's 16 years old. I wonder what he's playing. What's in his tunes?
Well, Schlegs, I think all he needs is a cool buzz and some tasty waves. He's ready to go, bro. But what he's like Johnny Spicoli, man, just out there ready to roll. What do we got though, Schlegs? The last 30 years, Pat. Ohio State, nobody's done this. All right. Only QB in the last 30 seasons with multiple games of 85% completions, plus 300-yard passing, plus 3 TDs, and 0 interceptions. It's about as flawless of a performance in game, Schlegs, as you're actually going to get.
Yeah, I'm just saying. And that's the point, Bob. To me, it goes into the next clip, which it was somebody from CBS Sport, and it's not like you don't have to play the clip, but it's like the world's biggest drum that I've been hitting is what happens in Ryan Day's offense for first year quarterback.
Oh, this is good. Put this up. Yeah, this is good. We can take a little listen to this. You know how good he is.
Joe Burrow was a Buckeye for a little bit, but those are all NFL quarterbacks.
They're all NFL quarterbacks, first rounders. And we've talked in the Texas size, world's biggest drum that I've been hitting all season is what happens in Ryan Day's offense for first-year quarterbacks. They all thrive. The process of what they do to get these kids ready, the talent that they have around them. What Ryan Day told Julian Sayin is trust your receivers to be where you need them to be. So he can basically close his eyes and throw the ball to a spot, and he knows Carnell Tate and J.J. Smith are going to go get it. That's a tremendous asset for a young player who's trying to develop confidence. We've just seen this young man grow week after week, and it still feels like there's
still meat on the bone, Schlegs.
So much meat on the bone. And it's not, you can't say, oh, they're a bad team or who has Ohio State played? It still goes back into the execution. You're hearing guys' stats. I remember hearing Damon Williams' stats of 538 yards, and who was it that they played? Let's see that game. That game was Where's my guy, Washington? That game was Washington. No, it was Maryland. It was the Maryland game when he had all those stats, because that was following, the beatdown that Ohio State did at their stadium. So like you're hearing those things, and he's going out there, and the number one thing is he's consistent, and he's taking care of the football. And I think he has 3 interceptions on the year, but you're putting out 390-something yards, 4 touchdowns, and using your weapons and the skill set that they have to be able to go get it. And it was funny because Zach Smith was just like, I just remember watching a clip, and he was talking about some passes, and guess what? You saw those passes made in this game, and that confidence is just going to continue to build and build. Let the beat build, Lil Wayne, throughout the rest of the season. You like that?
Rock. Yeah.
That's a good beat. Let the beat build. It's a good one.
It's a pretty good one. And that's what it kind of feels like, that they've been working through this. And there's things that they have that they haven't fully deployed yet, that you'll see bits and pieces of them. Now, one of the conversations, Schlegs, that we've had that we need to get to, we're going to get to that right guard conversation that we'll lean in on that here at some point. But I want to get, since we're talking about Julian Sayin, he threw 2 balls to JJ that maybe would have been caught for big gains and would have been fantastic. But there's been a narrative, a conversation around, is JJ getting frustrated? Like, is he upset with the offense's role in the offense and everything that's going on? He had career high catches for him, 9 receptions, 97 yards. I'm sure he would have loved another 3 yards, maybe a touchdown. Julian probably loved another 7 yards to get to 400, and that would have been great. But the narrative that he's getting frustrated, I told someone, like, well, they're not going to him that much. They need to do this. I'm like, I think he wants the ball. I think he gets mad when he doesn't make plays, but I think he also understands the guys that are out there around him, and you can see how they celebrate together and how happy he is for BI, for Carnell, and those guys when they make plays as well.
There's a great clip of Ballard, who was at Ohio State, who's at Wisconsin.
Jaden Ballard, yeah.
Yep. And then after the game, like, they're all there together. And that's the stuff that's not really necessarily publicized a lot, but they genuinely care, authentically care for the dudes there in their room. And when you play the game and you know everything that everybody else does to go in to produce, you celebrate with your teammates. And these guys know that there is only one ball, and he still had 97 yards receiving, and there were a couple where he could have got, potentially a touchdown. But the fact remains is if you look up when somebody could potentially get frustrated, it's the blocking on the perimeter. Hey, I'm not getting the ball, therefore I'm not going to necessarily do something. You know what I mean? In the game, or am I going to give a great effort? You don't see that from any of them. They all just go, and they all play really, really hard. And they also know that, and Bob, you and I know this too. Like, there's games at linebacker where it's not necessarily your game. You know what I mean? Like, this game is going to be a spread them out, throw the ball. Hey, Bob, you're going to be a 5 technique. It's go feast, go get some sacks type day. But if you're in the box and not a running game, they're going to try to throw it. Like, you might not have the 12, 15 tackles that you normally would.
You're going to be running a lot of pursuit and getting there as the guys on the ground. Yeah.
But just go do your job and make the plays that you're supposed to make. And that's the ebbs and flows of a football season when you have contrasting styles. So they're all out there. They all put the work in. And JJ is your hardest worker, and it's evident. And he goes out there and he wants it, but he also wants the work that's being put in from his teammates to be able to celebrate that.
Yeah. So here's the other part of this.
See that at practice too, Bob. And you and I don't see any of those things, guys. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, like the guy, he's frustrated when he doesn't make a play. But I don't think, someone's like, well, it's Heisman candidacy and things. Like, that's all great. And it's a part of it. And maybe the second half of the season, he has 50 catches for, 700 yards and 8 touchdowns, and it's all good. Who knows? I know this, when the lights are on and you're playing great teams, like, he finds a way to get the ball because those guys don't just sit there and they won't double him and let Carnell and Max Clare and Brandon Ennis go catch, 30 balls on him. They're trying to win. So, yeah, they may double JJ some. And when they don't, just like Notre Dame did last year in the national championship, being ready when your opportunity is called. And you look no further than Max Clare Schlegs,
Yep.
who came over here. He's caught 90 balls. It's like, JJ, you want to go? You could go to Florida and you'll probably catch 90 balls and your team might suck. You know, you could go to Miami and Miami wanted him a lot, but then you have Carson Beck, you melt down on Friday night and throw 4 picks and you lose a game. You want to play with winners. You want to be on a winning team. And that's why Max Clary goes 5 for 29 here when if he's at Purdue, he's giving JJ stats. He's catching 9 balls for 100 yards and a TD because his team's not any good.
Right.
But you really want to catch 100 balls on a team that's 3-9. And that's what that is the best part about JJ is, Schlegs, he is a relentless grinder, works his butt off. And so that's not really an issue. That's not something that you got to worry about with him. He wants to win. He's a competitive son of a gun, but he also isn't a selfish guy. And that's why they love him here. And that's why that receiving room gets along so well. All right, we're long for a break. Going to hit a break. Come back, Schlegs. We're going to talk a little bit about this right guard situation that's going on at Ohio State. And we'll talk a little bit about that offensive line, what happened at the end of last season, and then where they're at this year and how they've looked and what we've got going on. All that is going to be coming up here next on the Bobby Carpenter Show. But first, parents and athletes, protect what matters most with Export mouth guards trusted by professional athletes, designed by NHL team dentists. Export mouth guards are scientifically tested to help absorb those high-impact hits, helping protect both your teeth and your brain. They feature 3 layers of advanced protection, including a patented use of carbon fiber that they custom fit to your unique smile by 3D printing it right to your grill. My son was wearing his yesterday in his final football game of the season. For more protection, better performance, max comfort, and clear communication, focus on your game, not your gear. Don't take chances with your safety. Visit exportguards.com/Bobby today. Save 15% on your order. Export, protect what matters most. Ohio State offensive line. Is it an issue? Find out next.
Creative, experience, results. That's what drives growth. That's what builds brands. That's Lake Spur Marketing, a full-service agency built on trust, strategy, and performance, not fluff. From bold strategies to flawless execution, every campaign is rooted in smart planning and driven by clear goals. We don't chase clicks. We build partnerships. We show up, dig in, and deliver every single time. Lake Spur Marketing. The proof is in our partners.
All right, Schlegs, welcome back in the Bobby Carpenter Show.
Thank you.
And we've got our offensive line this year. Starting at left tackle, you've got Austin Sareveld. Starting at left guard, you have Luke Montgomery. Starting at center, you have Carson Hinsman, who returned back to his native land of the Dairyland up there in Wisconsin, where I think he had to get like 80-some tickets for everybody. What was his last time going back there? I don't know. There's no way they'll play up there again, not next year anyway, even if he comes back. Right. So those are your 3 guys. And what's interesting is Luke Montgomery, Carson Hinsman, and Austin Sareveld. None of those guys were really like full-time starters last year. There was like some rotation and Luke wasn't playing and Carson had gotten benched. And then all of a sudden after Michigan, you start moving some guys around. They're playing Austin at guard, playing right guard, playing some left guard. Then this year they asked him to play tackle. Thought he'd play right tackle. Well, you have Tegra Shabola, who started all of last year at guard until the end, did not play well against Michigan. And they started rotating some guys. Started rotating Luke Montgomery over there and him and Austin. They're kind of a little 3-man weave over the 2 guard spots. And it got him going, and everybody played well. And when he was in there, he was playing good. And regardless whoever was in there, those guys all played really well. And then they had to replace, obviously, Fryer on the outside. Brought in Ethan Onyamwa, thought he'd be able to do it. Philip Daniels has been over there a lot. And, he's played pretty well. He's had some ups and downs, had some penalties. Mm-hmm. But he also, Schlegs, has only started, I think, 4 games in college. Like, he was at Minnesota. They brought him in here. He's got an attitude and edge. But he's a young guy, and he's still developing. There's a lot of meat on that bone for him.
He's a redshirt sophomore.
Yeah. So there's a lot of time for him to be able to continue to get better, fill out his frame, develop some athleticism, hone in on technique, some of those things. But this right guard situation, they started playing Padilla there, your guy, Padilla, who plays a lot of center and backs up Carson Hinsman, who's playing really good ball. And so you ask yourself, like, okay, they start working him in there with Tegra, maybe to light a little bit of a fire, Jim Morrison style. Come on, make me light my fire. And it's not like they've benched Tegra. They're rotating, and he'll go in, come back out. Like, they'll move guys by series, every couple of series. And it's just kind of interesting. So that's kind of the one area that I'm looking at on this team and thinking that there's a little bit of uncertainty in a place where I felt really good about it for the first, 4 or 5 games.
You know what? I still feel really good about it, but it's about who are your best 11, Bob. And we're seeing that even with the defensive line on the interior. Who's the best? You saw Edric Houston there at the very beginning. Then you saw Tywone Malone really step up. I just remember the 4th down or the goal line play where he reached back, but and stopped the dude on 3rd and goal against Illinois. He's been producing. Will Smith has been doing well, and now you have a good little 4-man rotation. I think who's the other one? Jason. What's Jason's name? Jason Moore, right? He's rotated in there sometimes on goal line. So you feel good about that rotation than any of those guys, but it's been because K-Mac has been playing at such a high level. And then you kind of get this, right? You got Tegra who's coming back, who has that experience, was a starter predominantly the entire season last year. Then you bring in Ethan, and all of a sudden it's this guy, which I do like, is going to be the starting tackle. But now he's moving at guard. He plays a little bit of tackle so they can rotate that on the right side. But who is this one? And that's where competitive excellence matters. And though he's the backup center, right, can he be that guard? And you need, it's all about the continuity on the right side and that guard position, the left side. And this is what Charles Bentley put it out there, Bob. The left side from center to tackle looks like it's fantastic. So what's the missing component on the right side? Well, let's tweak, let's figure it out, let's run different combinations. And that's what you do during a season, because ultimately when you get to the game and you get to the playoff run, you want to have your best 11 out there.
Yeah. So Charles Bentley, this is pretty good. So it's curious the impact.
It's a great comparison.
Curious the impact Josh Padilla would have on OSU if provided more reps. He reminds me a lot of a young Pat Elflein, played a little guard, played guard, moved to center later. Center left tackle, great chemistry, playing at a high level. Daniels Youngs brings some right mentality that's been missing, future star. And so then that's you're trying to figure this out. Integra Shabolich, highly recruited guy out of Westchester, Lakota kid. Last year, like I said, didn't play well against Michigan. They started rotating, and he played better once they started rotating. Yep. And so it's sometimes you just need a little fire lit under you. But Padilla's gone in, and he graded a lot better, at least on PFF. Now, I don't know, I haven't been privy to all the offensive lineman grades and everything that they've got going on in there, but, there is a question, you've got to get that figured out. And you've been playing some teams where it hasn't been an issue. And Wisconsin's pretty good up front, but when they played Oregon last year and Tennessee, they had that thing grease, man.
Yep.
Oregon, you had it grease. You've got to get to that point again. Now you have some weeks to do it. Penn State's going to be good up front. Now, maybe they're struggling a little bit. Obviously, they fired James Franklin, but they're going to be a really good team in 2 weeks. And so, Schlegs, we've got this is the bye week or the improvement week as they're going to try to get after it. I'm curious to see what it looks like coming out of this, because this is when you have an opportunity to kind of tinker and play with some of that stuff.
And I put in the group chat, this is the week that they're going to do it, because Penn State just coming off of a 4-game stretch, right? So they're 3-4. Oregon, UCLA, Northwestern, Iowa, off bye week. What are you going to do? Ohio State, they're looking to improve. So I think that when you see that, whoever goes out there first, you're going to see where they believe they are during improvement week. And that's going to be, we're still going to be working on greasing the wheels there, but that will give you a great indication as to who they're leaning to.
Absolutely.
Moving forward.
All right. And so we'll figure that out. We'll have some more clarity a little bit by week's end, maybe heading into next week. But I'm sure as you sit there at Penn State, which I think is going to hang on to be a big noon, we'll talk about that a little bit more as the week goes on. You'll have an idea of that and be watching this. And this is going to be something that they're going to need to monitor, moving forward to see how that looks. I want to tell you about our friends at Backer Schlegs, a brand new product, BCKR. Premium Buckeye jackets and hats. They've got college football stuff all across the landscape. If you got friends who love other teams, it makes great Christmas gifts. And listen, the windbreaker that I'm wearing there looks tremendous. But I will tell you this, it poured on Sunday yesterday, and I wore the raincoat. I was nice and dry, feeling good. Now my feet were soaked, my legs were soaked. So I didn't put on my not until the afternoon game schlegs that I put on my Rocky boots like little bogs, so I could wear around to keep me dry. So that was a bummer, but these things are awesome. They feel good. They look good. They check all the boxes. They have all of the features you're looking for. You're going to love how you look in the backer gear. bckr.com. Go check them out. And they've got free shipping on all of their orders currently. So go check them out. bckr.com. Headlines coming up next.
Creative, experience, results. That's what drives growth. That's what builds brands. That's Lake Spur Marketing, a full-service agency built on trust, strategy, and performance, not fluff. From bold strategies to flawless execution, every campaign is rooted in smart planning and driven by clear goals. We don't chase clicks. We build partnerships. We show up, dig in, and deliver every single time. Lake Spur Marketing. The proof is in our partners.
Lake Spur Marketing, sponsoring headlines. They pride themselves on delivering positive and powerful results. They're a full transparency marketing agency who will be with you every step of the way. They're in constant communication with their clients. At Lake Spur Marketing, there isn't a set it and forget it strategy. All their tactics, they're customized to your needs, and they will tinker and tweak with them as they go to maximize their results. Trust the experts. Trust Lake Spur Marketing. The proof is in their partners. Visit lakespurmarketing.com today. All right, Schlegs. We've got some of our headlines, and we're going to feature the defense. We've talked a lot of offensive ball. We haven't probably featured some of our guys on the defensive side that we love to hype and highlight and everything there. But this defense has been historically good. And now we've got a fairly decent sample size. Now, Wisconsin was bad on offense up front. Illinois was much better on offense. Hell, Illinois beat USC. Okay, they're a pretty good team. They played a Texas team that is talented but struggling a little on offense. Like, they've got some good teams that they've played here. Why don't you want to preview this, Schlegs? There we go. Matt Patricia in the Kegel hat there, looking good.
That guy.
Fewest points allowed by an FBS team through 7 games since 2000, 5.8 points. Their second shutout now of the season.
Go to the next one. Go to the next one. Go to the next one.
There we go.
Next
Let's see
page.
what we got there. Less points than Georgia in 2021. That historic defense. Less than the 07 defense. Schlegs was led by one James Leonidas and Malcolm Jenkins. Some really, really talented players in there. The Michigan team is great. And you look at these teams, it's like 2021, Georgia, national championship.
I'm pretty sure. So 07 was runner up, 23 national champion. It was one of the Alabamas or the Georgias where they got runner up in that year. But every single one of those teams went to the national championship.
Went to the national championship game. I think Alabama, but you look at that, those are some really good teams. Michigan obviously won it in 23. So good defense, Schlegs, equates to winning, and winning in a big way, winning in the big moments. And it feels like we didn't really talk about the defense at all in today's show so far. And the fact that, okay, Sonny Styles, interception return for touchdown, like, feeling good about that. Wait, he returned? Yeah, that was a pick six. He returned.
No, he did not. That was the one where that was the one where they kicked a field goal.
Yes.
And they didn't score, which I was like, but it's not like a deal breaker. But like, you wanted that momentum, because of how the game transpired. But I'll just tell you this. I mean, it's everybody on the defense, right? It's the fact that you go against Wisconsin and into that game. And somebody put in the chat, like, I love the way our team played start to finish. And yes, they had a lot of backups in there, but before that, now you got to remember 20 yards came on a punt where nobody blocked the outside on the rugby punt or came up to like secure the edge on the rugby punt. That kind of pissed you off. That puts you at 124. But going into that last drive, they were under 100 yards of offense. Right? They had 9 first downs, 2 of 11, 1 of 2 on fourth down. Couldn't do anything.
That doesn't sound very
But
good
it's
at
still
all, Schlegs.
not very good at all. But still, the most impressive thing was Aaron Scott's tackle on the sideline on
Boom!
on the last drive, and how hyped everybody else was in there. Like, that's what you want to see from a team that they know their peers are watching. Like, I get an opportunity to go out here and play in a football game, and a meaningful football game, a Big Ten football game. I'm going to go and show out, but they're prepared to do so. And so, like, that's what I come away with, is how they go about handling their business, the communication, the tackling in space, the way that they can affect a quarterback and just play that game. You know, Caden had a sack, Arvell had a sack, KJ had a sack.
Yeah.
Awesome, right?
Well, like your 3 usual suspects, your big guys all played big for you. Like they've all been guys, your 2 DNs, and then Arvell, who they've been moving around, Captain Swiss Army Knife, has his sack. And so everybody was able to do what they needed to do. They rotated a lot of guys. Like that last series, Schlegs, you looked out there, they basically
everybody was new.
Everybody was new on defense, and they still held up the shutout. And that was awesome. But Aaron Scott came up, played his tools. They tried to run 2 through the zone. I think they thought they could get Ohio State sleeping with some of the younger guys, maybe not knowing what to do. But those guys were rocked up and ready to go. I mean, you got to see TJ Alford was in there, linebacker. Riley Pettijohn was in there. You know, he was in there earlier with Peyton. You know, you got a chance to see Bryce West, Aaron Scott. Those dudes were playing and making some plays. Zion Grady was in there doing some stuff at defensive end.
Delane was in there. He's a freshman safety. He was in there.
He's looking good. Leroy Roker, unfortunately, Schlegs, he played pretty well at safety, and I think they really like him there. Unfortunately, he was the one on the punt return that had a chance to make a play.
Oh, miss open field tackle on
the least athletic guy on the field. That's something that's you're living down in meetings. And Ryan, I promise you this, he is tearing into those dudes about making sure that that crap doesn't happen again, and that they're going to get all that squared away. So a lot of things. The good news is they won the game, played really well on both sides of the ball. We didn't even really get into the running back situation yet of like how that looks. We'll maybe save that for tomorrow. But we got our tailgate talk coming up next. Like, we get to answer the questions from the folks. What do they think? What do they want to hear? What do they want to know? You let us know, and we'll answer those questions for you here coming up next.
Creative, experience, results. That's what drives growth. That's what builds brands. That's Lake Spur Marketing, a full-service agency built on trust, strategy, and performance, not fluff. From bold strategies to flawless execution, every campaign is rooted in smart planning and driven by clear goals. We don't chase clicks. We build partnerships. We show up, dig in, and deliver every single time. Lake Spur Marketing. The proof is in our partners.
All right, Schlegs, now we have our tailgate talk where we get a chance to answer your questions.
I like this one. I like this one.
This is good. There's a lot of
this is from Chaos. Insane to run a fake punt when you're on your 4th string quarterback. And I'm like, that's exactly why you run that play there.
Like, if you go back and look at it, I don't think it was intentional.
It was not intentional, but they always have the green light. That's why people like the rugby. I hate the rugby. Nate Ebner hates the rugby, but they do that because if you don't go do your job and it's available, take it. And the dude took it for 20 and got a first down.
Took it for 20. It's like he had a sundial on him. It was the slowest run I've ever seen. I was trying to talk to Dr. Dickel to see if we had a Zephyr on him to see how fast he run and if he cracked 10 miles an hour. I was trying to figure out why there were no Buckeyes coming into frame. I'm like, where are the guys coming into frame? And by the way, someone's getting their butt ripped because you know this as well as I do. On every return, there is one player, maybe 2, like you have 3, at least 1 though, that forces the kick. What does it mean to force the kick?
Tell him.
It means to watch the ball hit his foot.
Yes.
Not think the punter gets it and look like they're going to punt it. Not run up there and say, I know you are in position that if that guy does not put the ball to foot, you make the tackle right now.
Yep.
Boom. That's it. That did not happen. A missed tackle on the punter. And listen, my guy Leroy Roker, I think he's going to be a really good player. We all have players' legs that you'll never live down. Like, I think you got cut really bad one time. Fick was yelling at you, but he's like, watch. I seat rolled and popped back up and like got back in on an aggressive JOP, jump on the pile.
Yeah, he made fun of that.
I give the punter credit. It takes balls when you're that slow to fake one when you have 20 yards to go. It wasn't like it was 4th and 7. He had a long run. Plus, he's like 12 yards deep. There's a long run that he had to go ultimately to get there. There was another question. From Larry Break 5570. Did Matt Rule lose the PSU job with the loss to Minnesota? That was tough. The Big Ten it's a little squirrely, man. I thought Nebraska would have a good shot at making the CFP. I looked at their schedule thinking, all right, who do they have coming up?
Northwestern, you have USC, you have UCLA, at Penn State, home against Iowa.
But I was like, you lost to Michigan. Like, can you beat USC? If you beat USC, then you've got a legit win. You could maybe go 10-2. Nowhere in my calculus. And I was hoping that Nebraska would start to maybe emerge to be one of those other teams that you could look at. Nowhere in my calculus was them losing last week to Minnesota. But that's what the Big Ten is. Like, it after Ohio State, Indiana, and Oregon, there's like a cluster of like 5 or 6 teams that I think can kind of beat anyone on any given day. And if you're going to go out there and horse around and on a Friday night and you get freaking beat down, man, and now you're 5-2 at Nebraska and you should be 6-1, like now you're behind the 8 ball. The only thing you can say is you didn't lose a close game because you got beat 24-6, but you were up in that game. Heck, it was 7-6 at halftime. Like, you should have had a chance to pull that out.
It's amazing how we're looking at all these, and then you have that Penn State, right? Like, it was kind of like, are they going to go against later in the season? Is it going to be IU? Is it going to be Penn State? Is it going to be Oregon? Is it going to be Ohio State? As you look at who it is, and who was it? I think it was, who was that? E. Rogers. Ed Rogers, right? Who's going to be that 4th team in the Big Ten? And right now, Bob, it looks like it's going to be Illinois because you had Ohio State, you had a bye week, now you got Washington, then you have Rutgers, then you have another bye, then you have Maryland, Wisconsin, and Northwestern. Like, of all of the ones, the easiest path and most likely path is that of Illinois over everybody else. So you're looking at Ohio State, Oregon, IU, and probably Illinois. And you can't say SC because they still got Nebraska. Huge games for both, right? Then you got Northwestern, who, like, mind-blowing is 5-2. Iowa, they're
like Cal. UCLA. If you simply look at the Big Ten standings, which is all that matters. They're 3-1. They lost to Northwestern. If they would have won that game, I joked them like they could have lost to Indiana, played Ohio State 2 games before Michigan, and if they beat Ohio State, and I mean, granted, this would have been them winning other games involved and going 8-1 in conference. But I go, if they beat Ohio State and go 8-1 in conference, they would go to the Big Ten championship game. Like, that's how insane that is. Like, because the Big Ten schedule is all that matters. So when you have Indiana, who's undefeated in conference, Ohio State that's undefeated in conference, like, you need to make sure you win your conference games. It's a little crazy. We're long for a break. We're going to pop a break here, Schlegs. We're going to come back. You have about a minute left for your side nuggets and parting thoughts.
Creative, experience, results. That's what drives growth. That's what builds brands. That's Lake Spur Marketing, a full-service agency built on trust, strategy, and performance, not fluff. From bold strategies to flawless execution, every campaign is rooted in smart planning and driven by clear goals. We don't chase clicks. We build partnerships. We show up, dig in, and deliver every single time. Lake Spur Marketing. The proof is in our partners.
All right, Schlegs, you have like 30 seconds. Let's get
play it. Put it on there. hey, look at these guys. Like, I mean, this is just what's fun about it, especially being a Buckeye, but having coached both of them, one in the league and then one at Ohio State. Like, it's just great the fact that they're linking up and playing ball. Now, though the Rams dominated that game, doesn't matter. Brothers will talk about it, but it's just cool to see the Hamilton boys, Central Ohio dudes, playing in the NFL.
Couple Pick Central guys, Ty and Davon Hamilton, dude. Awesome to see, both playing well, doing a good job, and some beefy dudes in the middle.
Beefy dudes, man. Beefy dudes.
Man. That is it for today's show, Schlegs. We'll be back tomorrow with our guy Bill Bender, talk a little more Ohio State, that running back situation, what the heck's going on across the landscape of college football. Stay locked in on the Bobby Carpenter Show.